Hey, morning. I decided to do this one live, and it's Monday morning, and I'm getting ready to go and serve God and sort out the guys' problems at the rehab center and see what's going on with people's lives there. And I just thought I want to talk about the fallout from this disastrous meeting at the White House. And I've had time to watch a lot of the commentators from our own country. I always go over there first. I've watched one of my favorites, Advocate Ike Kumalo. Shout out to you. I really enjoy your perspectives, and I think you understand nicely and properly what's going on. I watched Biz News Sunday night with Neil De Beer, and I watched the Dave Rubin report with Rob Hertzhoff, and I watched our local media and what they had to say. And here's a common narrative, okay? The first thing is that Julius Malema and the EFF have gone from being the most hated bunch of people in this country to being the most hated people in the world. Congratulations. You finally reached your goal. You're number one. I think you've even possibly risen to the higher heights than Hamas. And in some quarters, if you look at the other side, you've probably reached the higher heights than the people that hate Israel. Well done, bro. I think we should get together and make some kind of trophy for you. You've reached your goal. Most hated man in the world. When you see what the world is saying about South Africa, regardless of whether we believe the genocide is happening or the genocide isn't happening, the world believes that there's something terrible going on here. That meeting with Donald Trump, I don't even want to estimate how many views that meeting has had across all platforms around the world. Must be 100 million, 200 million agrees there's a problem. Now, I live in South Africa and I've made my view blatantly clear, but I'm going to make it clear again. There is a genocide in South Africa, but the genocide is affecting all of us. All of us. All of us. I saw the stats yesterday. We've had more people killed here in 2024 than people died at the full-scale edge of the war in Gaza, where planes were dropping bombs and flattening entire neighborhoods. More people have died in South Africa as a result of murder than have died as a result of war in Gaza. So that's, you don't have to just... I'm sorry, I just want to change my train of thought here. I don't want to use the word genocide. The word we're looking for, or the phrase we're looking for, is exactly what Neil De Beer says. If it's not genocide, then it's definitely mass murder. It's mass murder. And it's mass murder across the spectrum. I watched Solly Philander, and he makes a valid point. He says, we're going overseas and we're calling and we're shouting about the genocide of white farmers. White farmers are being murdered. There's no getting around it. And they're getting murdered per capita at a higher rate than any other demographic in South Africa, okay? In terms of how many there are versus how many get killed, right? There's no getting around it. But Solly Philander brings up a valid point. What about the children caught in crossfire in the Cape Flats that are being decimated there through gang violence and drugs issues? Akumalo said, I watched him this morning early, he said this. People said, well, why are these AfriForum and these guys going over and only talking about the farm murders? And he made it very clear, and I agree with him. He says because they are dealing with the priorities of the people that they represent. That's why they're speaking about it. They AFRI Forum, okay? They are representing the farmers and the farmers' interests. They're representing the white Afrikaner people's interests, and that's what they're going over there to speak about. All right? So that's why they go there, and they speak about primarily that. If you look at me and you see what I speak about generally, I speak about drug abuse. I speak about substance abuse. I speak about the degradation of our cities and our societies due to the influence of drugs. That's what I speak about. You understand? And now somehow I've gotten sucked into this whole story with politics because I just cannot sit back and watch what's going on. It's disgusting. And I'm very happy about this Trump meeting. I'm very happy about it because now everything is out there and people can have proper and open discussions, and we have a platform upon which we can start talking, you know. You cannot say that you are not part of the murder problem in South Africa when you're shouting and screaming for people to murder each other. No matter what excuse you give it. Akamala says this. He says that song was part of the struggle back in the 80s and 90s. That song no longer has relevance here. You know, if you want to empower black South Africans, then you need to start doing the right thing to empower black South Africans. You need to raise the funds to purchase the land to hand over to the people. You can't expect to just go and take away from people, most of which have worked multi-generationally and over centuries to build what they have. And you just want to go take it and give it to people. It simply does not work like that, brother. I was living on the street 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was living on the street. No benefits of privilege. I was a drug addict. I changed my life. I started working within the systems that are required for you to build a life. And as I've shown you before, in 20 years, I've gone from the street to building a highly effective ministry, to serving my countrymen, to helping addicts, and now trying to get a voice out there about what needs to happen in South Africa. Well, South Africa, in the words of the Colonel White, what say you? You know, now that we're out there, we've got the platform to speak about it, the world is listening. What are we going to say? What are we going to say? We've got to stop complaining now. We've got to start finding solutions, and we have to start working towards those solutions. I've aired some of those views of mine. I'll re-air them here for the purposes of this live. And then, I'm pretty much going to sign off. If you want to tell us that crime is the problem, we agree with you. We are all victims of crime in this country. Every single South African. So, Mr. Ramaphosa, Mr. Steenhuisen, all these guys that are there apparently speaking on our behalf as a South African, this is what I want to see happen. I want you to arrest everybody in government that is implicated in corruption and in crime. Step one. You can't tell us to sort out the crime in our streets. You can't tell us to sort out the crime in our cities if you are not prepared to sort out the crime in Parliament. Parliament is the first place where crime must get sorted out. I saw over the weekend the Chinese caught their Minister of Agriculture stealing and involved in corruption over 20 years to a small amount compared to what we steal here. $36 million. I think they're executing him today. That's what should happen. That's what should happen. These people must be rooted out. You need to deal with that in Parliament first. All right. So let's start there. Sort out the crime problem. The next thing is this all these BEE equity laws. You need to have another look at those laws. They're strangling your country and they're strangling the people of this country to death. You and I and everyone in this country know that that equity law and those BEE laws have only empowered a very small minority of black people in this country. The black people for whom those laws were created are still living in poverty, still suffering, still in the same place they were. Even worse, some of them, than they were prior to 1994. So you need to have another look at those. And I'm not saying scrap all the BEE laws, but what I am saying is make those BEE laws work for the people that they're supposed to work for. Not you and your fat cat billionaires and your flippin' Armani suit wearing politicians. That's not who it's for. It's for people like myself and other people in this country, okay, to help people get out of the gutter and get out of those places. Expropriation without compensation. You need to tell us exactly who that law is aimed at and targeted at. Not all the double speak, underhanded, what. You need to come and explain to South Africa where, when, and how exactly you plan on using that law. The Bella Bill, you need to throw out the window, and the NHI is dead in the water. Dead in the water. You literally want to bankrupt the biggest sector of South Africa, the medical aid sector, and the health thing. I agree with Donald Trump. Let's see how it rolls. Let's see how it rolls and see what happens there. But to be honest with you, with the way that the world is looking at South Africa now, after that meeting, I think you're going to get a slap at the RCJ. You know, I really do. I think you're going to get a slap there. So that's it. That's my morning hello. And I wish you all the best for the week. Love you guys lots. And to my brother, Mr. De Beer, Neil, I wish you well. I hope you get the rest that you so desperately need. You need to slow it down, brother, because, you know, you can't push yourself to a point where you can't be useful anymore. You need to rest, my boot. Take the rest. We're praying for you. God bless you guys. Have a fantastic day further. Cheers.